I started mine, but last time I don't know why it stopped after 10 minutes. So if you can also do it on your end.
Wait,
I'll
is
also
Christian?
start. I'll also start. Oh, I need permission from you. Can you give me permission to record?
Oh, wait. I just did.
Because the link had didn't have the password, and then so I don't know if this meeting has a password, because if there is, then people might have issues logging in, I guess. Is there a way to disable the password? You're muted.
It seems like there is, but I kind of used the same template for this meeting and there wasn't any issue last time. So maybe I'll try
Hi,
it.
everyone.
Oh,
Hey,
hey.
Christian.
Hi, guys.
Oh my
How's it
God,
going?
this is.
They're having technical.
Oh, it's the age of Zoom. I probably, like an old man, have an issue with Zoom at least once a day. Yesterday I had like 3 of them and I almost gave up. I was like, nah, I'm over this. It was funny because just a little TMI about me, but I'm getting married in a couple of weeks, and last night my team surprised me with like a shower. Somehow they got my fiance in on it. So I was in a one-on-one with my boss, and we went way over. We went like 5-10 minutes over, and people were like, I was supposed to be in a debrief, and they were like, hey, are you guys gonna make it? And I was like, yeah, I'm just finishing up. I'm so sorry. I'm talking to Rob. And when I jumped in the next Zoom, before I did that, we had a package delivered. So I got up and I was like, what is this? And my fiance like kind of got in the way and was like, hey, aren't you supposed to be on a call? And I was like, wait, how do you know I'm supposed to be on a call? And then it didn't work. So I was like, all right, I'm over this. And we were like, no, you have to get on this call. Like, you have to do it. And then I figured out why. It was because they were all surprising me or surprising us. It was pretty funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Zoom, it's a good time.
Code disable.
Trying to stop
Remove
sniffling over
the
here.
passcode, but I still don't see anyone joining.
I think people are having a difficulty in joining because I got a message from one of my friends. She said that, what is the passcode?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait.
So, Christian, when are you taking your vacation?
Next week is my last week before vacation, and then I have the following week off. I'm only taking 1 week off because this is like our busy season, so I didn't feel like it was fair for me to take 2 weeks off in the middle of busy season. And also, I don't want to leave like a lot of the students that I'm interacting with, like sitting there, like either, trying to catch up with another recruiter or so our honeymoon is the week of Thanksgiving, which we just found out yesterday our flights got canceled.
Oh no.
Yeah. But we're working on it.
Okay,
We're supposed to go to Bora Bora.
Ooh.
I finally see people joining. So it worked out, I guess.
Yeah, I think we had some passcode issue initially.
Fixed it.
So how long have you been at ServiceNow, Christian?
8 years. I started off as what we call a recruiting coordinator, and worked my way up to my next job was a sourcer, which sounds fancy, but it's not. It's just someone who, it's like a junior recruiter, basically. It's someone who does all the front end work. So they find the people, they interview them, and then they, recommend them either to a hiring team or to the recruiter, and then the recruiter does the rest. And then the last 6 years, I've been a recruiter. So it's been a fun and wild ride.
Nice.
Okay, I think as we're waiting for some people to join in for an icebreaker question, tell us in the chat, what major are you studying right now?
Christian, what major are you studying right now?
Technically, I'm still a poli-sci major because I actually didn't graduate. I didn't finish. I changed my major 3 times in college. So that's part of the reason. The other part was because I was studying poli-sci, I got a job on a national campaign. And for some reason, they thought it was a good idea to give me a lot of responsibility, which then helped me get another job. But it was really overwhelming. I was like 24 years old at the time. I was 23 years old at the time, and I had no idea what I was doing.
I think I'll go ahead and get started. There are a few people already joining us. Okay, we have people from computer science, economics and informatics, marketing, HCI again. That's nice. Okay, welcome everybody. I hope you're all doing well and you had a nice week. We're so excited to be collaborating with ServiceNow today, and we have Christian with us, who's a senior recruiter at ServiceNow, and Paco, who was an intern this summer with them as well. We heard some really great things from Paco in our last event about ServiceNow, so we're looking forward to this event. I'll start off with a little bit of introduction and then pass on the stage. My name is Parumita, and I'm the lead intern for the web design team here at the Center of Excellence for Women and Technology. I'm a second year graduate student in the Human Computer Interaction program, and I have about 2 years of experience in design. So if anybody's interested in talking about design, feel free to reach out. And with that, I'll pass over to Fatima.
Hi everyone, I'm Fatima Rafiki. I am a second year graduate student at Indiana University Bloomington. I am also pursuing a degree in human computer interaction and design. Previously, I worked as a UX engineer developer for around 2 years back in India, and then I realized my true passion lies in design, so I decided to do a majors in it. And that's what I also talk about. I talk about career switch. Apart from that, I think I'm a huge women in tech advocate, and that is why I joined this team primarily. And I'm also a public speaker. I talk at conferences like Tapia and Juniper Inspirational Network and stuff like that. Yeah, so hit me up if you have any questions or you would like to connect. Over to you, eBay.
Hi guys, my name is Ibei Chin. I am a sophomore in the undergraduate school majoring in comprehensive design and digital interactive media, as well as minoring in marketing. And I just recently changed from pre-med major to more of a design major. So email me or contact me anywhere else if you want to know more about changing your major and go into something else that you're passionate about. It's nice to meet you guys today.
Okay, thank you, Fatima and eBay. So we're all part of CEW&T, and our mission here at CEW&T is to empower women to be leaders in technical fields, and we do that by providing more technical skills through our events and workshops that happen every month. There are like 3 or 4 events that keep happening, and you can definitely sign up for a mailing list to keep updated with that. We'll put the link in the chat. And then, so today we have with us Christian, and he'll be sharing a little bit about ServiceNow. And then after that, Paco will be briefly going over his internship experience. We've reserved the last half of the hour for Q&A. So if you are interested in knowing more, feel free to put your questions in the chat. And if you want to come off mute, make sure you use the hand raise feature so that everything goes smoothly. And with that, let's get started. Christian, the stage is all yours.
Well, thank you for that introduction. I'm very excited to be able to speak to you guys today. My name is Christian Cabrera. I am a senior recruiter on what we call our early in career team at ServiceNow. I've been with the company for about 8 years. The average employee at ServiceNow has been with the company for about 2. So I'm very excited and to be able to speak to you guys and walk you through kind of what we do at ServiceNow and who we are. So I'm going to share my screen if that's okay, and then just show some slides with what I'm going to be talking about. So give me just a second. And let me know if you guys can see this. Oh, wait, let me go back because I need to share. Okay. Okay. So let's get started. So just again, a quick introduction. My name is Christian Cabrera, senior recruiter, ServiceNow. I've been with the company for about 8 years. I hire or I help teams build out their early in career teams. So that's interns and new college grads. I started out as the only recruiter on the team, and we've just become so big, and our program has become such a huge force that we have now 5 other recruiters on the team. There's 3 tech recruiters, 2 recruiters on what we call the business side, and then 1 recruiter who mainly handles our MBA program. I help teams in our machine learning, which now we kind of rebranded to, and we call them, their new name is ATG, so Artificial Technology Group. I also help to hire in our quality engineering group, also in our systems engineering group, and then our machine learning, sorry, I just said that machine learning, our global talent group, which is a fancy name for HR or recruiting. So let me just share the next slide. I'll give a very quick agenda for what I'm going to talk about and lay out with you guys. So obviously I'm going to give a quick intro to ServiceNow, and then we'll talk about our platform, which is, our biggest product and what we're very proud of. And also our CEO likes to call our platform the platform of all platforms. I'm going to talk about our culture, and then I'm also going to be talking about the communities that you'll get to see around the US and around the world and places where we have offices. And then we'll chat about our intern program, which I hope a lot of you guys are interested in. So let's dive right into what we do. We're ServiceNow. We make the world of work better for people. Our purpose helps us to understand why we're here, why you should care about what you do, and why you should want to work at ServiceNow. The first part of our purpose is at the center of defining the future of work. It's an aspiration and a responsibility to define that future of work in an exciting, innovative, and effective way. What makes us unique is that the core of what we build is all about people. From the beginning, ServiceNow had a vision that started with our founder, Fred Luddy. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that name. he had a strong belief that technology should be in the service of people. We wholeheartedly believe that. We believe technology is here to enhance the quality of our lives and enhance humanity and people's and their experience. So real quick, I'll show you, this is Fred Luddy. Again, you guys should be very familiar with him. He is an amazing man. My first day at ServiceNow, I actually got to meet him because he came to one of our meetings and he sat down next to me, and I had no idea. I knew who Fred Luddy was, but I had never seen him, so I didn't know it was him. Luckily for me, I didn't say anything dumb. And as soon as he started talking, I realized very quickly, I was like, oh, this is Fred Luddy. But he said that he's very famous for saying that when he started ServiceNow in 2004, his vision was to build a cloud-based platform that would enable regular people to route work effectively through the enterprise. Today, we're very humbled by the recognition we received due in large part to his vision. And Fred really wanted to revolutionize technology in the workplace. He wanted to bring it up to speed with the technology that we're so used to in our day-to-day lives. And we're very focused on driving innovation around how work gets done within an enterprise. And so I really want to talk about our values because they are what drive us. They're very important to us. It's what I hope attracts a lot of people to ServiceNow because this is our culture, right? We're building a very unique company, one that requires a one-of-a-kind culture to make the wheels turn. What we do is constantly changing as we innovate new ways to make the world of work better for people. But how we do it revolves around these core beliefs. We believe that they're critical to growing us individually and as a company. It's also a place where we can create a place where people can grow personally and professionally. So I won't, they're kind of hard to read, right? Because they're in this funky font, but I'll just go over them real quick. And it's win as a team, which is one of the most important values that I hold dear to myself. I think as an individual, I'm nothing but without my team, right? So I think it's very important that, in an environment like ServiceNow, we work very collaboratively because our bottom line isn't our individual bottom line, it's how the company does. If the company is doing well, that means we're all doing well. And then we innovate and execute where we do this every day. Our success and failure, we understand are going to be part of the mix, but it's only through doing and learning that, we can build a great enduring company. The next one is very important. It's what made ServiceNow, what it is today, and that's delivering on customer success. We're dedicated to doing the right thing by our customers, but here's a funny thing. A lot of people think customers are people we sell product to. For me as a recruiter, my customers are the hiring managers that I work with, their teams who I, help to build out, and also students like you, right? People that I get to talk to on a day-to-day basis. You guys are actually my customers. I'm not really selling a product. I'm selling an opportunity, right? So that's how I view that. And then we also have, this one is very important to me. I talk about this all the time, stay hungry and humble. We always see room for improvement, not only in our products, but within each of our teams and our teamwork, and also how we help our customers. And then something that's, been very at the forefront, especially this year with everything that's going on, and that's embrace diversity and create belonging. We definitely embrace diversity and inclusion and belonging. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. We think that diverse, inclusive teams where everyone feels like they belong definitely innovate more. They enjoy themselves more and they create more value. And then lastly, which can often be forgotten but should never be, is enjoying the journey. We're on an amazing journey, and we're here to define the future of work. So my next slide is actually going to be a video that I want you guys to see. It's basically, I want you to take a look at what we mean when we say we make work better for people, including our own.
Hey, buddy, we going to work? Let's go to work. All right, I'm gonna start my day. All right, let's try to find a new place to work from home.
Can you see my screen?
welcome to my home office. Of course, I motivate myself with some excellent reading.
Lego is definitely helping me stay sane.
Cheers, ServiceNow.
Okay, so hopefully you guys got a good sense of, you know, what our employees have been up to lately and how we try to make their world of work, which is now at home, a little bit easier. So let's talk about our story. This is kind of a, you know, very high level timeline of ServiceNow. You know, we were founded in 2004 as the first cloud-based platform for the enterprise. We were originally named GlideSoft. Luckily, we changed that name pretty quickly. There was a funny fact was that we were so small initially that meetings were held at a restaurant called Red Robin, which later became a customer of ours in 2008. And then you can see some other milestones. 2014, we moved our headquarters to Santa Clara. You know, that was a strategic thing because that's the Bay Area. That's where all the, not all, but a lot of the talent at the time was at. Obviously, with everything that's been going on, we've come to see that talent's everywhere, right? It's just people like me need to go find people like you to, you know, be able to bring it into the enterprise, into our company. In 2015, we hit $1 billion in revenue for the first time. In 2018, we were listed by Forbes as the most innovative company in the world, which was just an amazing achievement. And then in 2009, we were certified by LinkedIn as one of the top companies in the world. And just recently, we were listed by Fortune as one of the world's most admired companies. So a lot of really cool and humbling stuff, right? And then this is our leadership team. This is what we call P4, or you know, our executives. We often say that behind every great experience is a great workflow. You could also say that behind every great workplace is a great leadership team. Our commitment to our company purpose extends across our organization, starting with our leaders. They set very clear expectations for, you know, what ServiceNow is and should be, and then we set very clear expectations for them as well. And it's not just around what they accomplish, but how they do that as well. That's very important to us. And now I'm going to transition very high level and very quickly into our platform. You know, our leaders are focused on getting us to become the platform of all platforms. We're going to share some info on why we call ourselves that. All right, so super high level again. ServiceNow Employee Workflows. You can deliver business continuity in uncertain times, drive the productivity of your shifting workforce, and transform your organization to provide critical services your employees actually need. When organizations take an employee-focused approach, frictionless workflows drive actions across IT, HR, facilities, finance, and legal. Here's a relatable example, and if this makes it seem like I'm an old man, it's because it is. But imagine if you are on campus and you're in you need to print something and you're in a computer room, and you know, the printer or one of the computers, they're just not working and you need troubleshooting. You know, how many times did you wish there was an easier way to let someone know it needed to be fixed? Well, you know, at ServiceNow and with our IT service management app, it's so easy. You would be able to snap a picture of the issue, submit a ticket through our mobile app, and it would alert all the necessary people in the back end in order to get it resolved so you can focus on what's really important. This isn't just applicable to businesses. We're able to build impactful applications that make real differences. Another real life example, back in May, right after, you know, everything started happening with COVID, when things got really you know, crazy. In a matter of 2 weeks, ServiceNow released 4 applications and a dashboard to help workplaces open up safely. It was an amazing thing. It was so amazing that people like Shaquille O'Neal and Kim Kardashian were tweeting about it. Because one of the applications was helping. It was basically doing contact tracing in the Los Angeles area. So it was really cool to see that. We partnered with the city there and the county. It was amazing. So I actually want to show you a really fun video that you may or may not have seen if you stream your TV. We've been all over, this commercial has been all over the place with that. So let me find very quickly that, and hopefully, can you guys see my screen still? Perfect.
I'll keep working my way back to you, babe, with a burning love inside. Yeah, I'm working my way back to you, babe, and I happy days I die, let it get away.
ServiceNow, the smarter way to workflow.
Okay, so that was our little commercial. It talks about, very briefly about one of the apps that helps, people feel safe about going back to work. Excuse me. Again, all of our applications are powered by this platform. It's our true differentiating factor. Our platform gives our customers the ability to customize and create applications to fit their exact business need. And with our most recent product release, you don't have to be an engineer to be able to build an application on our platform. With our new low-code, no-code approach, users can actually drag and drop features they want to scale out of their businesses. And so let's take a step forward and talk about our culture, which, again, we kind of talked about it with regards to the values that we hold dear, but I want to talk about how we actually, live and breathe the things that we say and do. Work is where you spend a third of your life. You should be purposeful, so it should be purposeful and fulfilling. At ServiceNow, we feel this tremendously. Everything we do is about unlocking potential in workplaces around the world and also within our own company. When you're more you at work, you actually thrive. And as a result, your team and your company thrives as well. So one more video I'd like to play. It talks about DIBS, right? Which that's what we call diversity, inclusion, and belonging. And I would like for you guys to know what our employees actually have to say about what that means to them.
I moved from Colombia to the US, and then I met my Dutch partner. It was kind of a move for love. I'm part of the statistics. I'm not the exception, and that was, yeah.
During my time in college, I gave back to a philanthropy called Dance Marathon. So that for me kind of just ignited the passion of giving back.
I've played hockey since I was 11 years old, and I'm very passionate about the sport, and I coach the junior teams.
I have an autistic kid, so I spend a lot of time outside work doing autism research. Right now, this is a big passion of mine.
I have a lot of tattoos, and the one that means the most to me is a portrait of my father. A lot of the things that I have on my right arm speak to the relationship that I had with my father.
I just love that I talk to so many different people from different backgrounds.
We are friendly with each other, and we always support each other during hard times.
Everyone's really open for conversation, and everyone kind of sees the same direction.
When we sit together, we speak freely. We speak out our minds.
Our executive team, they're all on board with wanting each and every one of our employees to feel as though ServiceNow is a place for them, a place where they truly belong.
And by belonging here, they bring their true self to work.
People, actually, it's what I like most here. Just a melting pot of different people, different languages.
We're actually all individuals, and we actually have fun.
We accept each other. We work as a team.
I have never felt so free and accepted, just being who I am.
You can just be yourself. I think that's what's important, and it continues to make me very happy to be part of this company.
moved from Colombia to the US.
So Dibs, this is Pat Waters. She is our Chief Talent Officer, and she helped to implement our Dibs strategy and our philosophy, right? Because it's very important to her as well. We're big believers that diverse, inclusive teams where everyone feels like they belong are essential to innovation and high performance. Our collective leadership commitment and belief in equity of opportunity are key to building a sustainable and just system of opportunity for everyone. This is why we would love your unique and one-of-a-kind self at ServiceNow. So let's talk about this a little bit more in depth. Again, it's important for all of our colleagues to feel like they belong here. It's determined in part by how we embrace diversity. We know that diversity and inclusion are table stakes. It's belonging that's the breakthrough, right? When our employees know they can show up without judgment and be their true selves, they achieve great things. We actually have employee-driven groups to support whoever you are. We see community as a way to build awareness and increase empathy outside our normal comfort zones. We make connections and bond with others over successes and challenges, and we reveal our vulnerability and humanity. Some ways we do this is by celebrating cultural events, sending employee voice surveys, and sponsoring diversity events. Okay, so that's our culture. Now we're going to talk about a little bit about where we're at. We are growing. It's amazing. I told you guys that I've been with the company for about 8 years, and the average employee has been with the company for less than 2, or about 2. When I first started, we actually were not a public trading company, and we were at about 500 employees. As of today, we're a public trading company on NASDAQ and all other places where you can buy stock, right? But we also went from, when I started, about 500, we were just a little over 500 employees, to now over 12,000. Our CEO just recently announced that, we would be tripling in size by, I believe it was 2024. So that's kind of crazy, because there's not a lot of companies out there that are doing that, especially he announced it recently. It wasn't like he announced it last year, pre-COVID. He announced it during COVID. So, our commitment to our employees, but also to our growth is very, very important. And we have locations everywhere across the globe. Like I said, our headquarters is in Santa Clara. It used to be in San Diego, where I live now. But we are everywhere. We have offices in Chicago, London, Amsterdam, Paris, Frankfurt, Tel Aviv, Hyderabad, Hong Kong, Singapore, Tokyo, and that's just to name a few. We had about a 27% increase in employee growth in 2019. And then, it just continues to grow again this year in 2020. Okay, so let's talk about what I hope a lot of you guys are very interested in talking to me about, and that's our intern program. I've been talking a lot about ServiceNow overall, but I want to dive into what our intern program looks like, what you may potentially be a part of. And then before I deep dive into that, you might recognize a couple people in this next video, maybe at least one person. But I want you guys to learn a little bit about what our intern program is about, right from our interns.
I think one word to describe my ServiceNow internship is life-changing.
Engaging.
Collaborative.
Productive.
I think it would be supportive.
Electric.
As so many people have said, ServiceNow is really a rocket ship. It's growing so fast, so now is a great time to get on board.
I think the biggest reason why people should work at ServiceNow is because of its culture. Everyone here is so friendly, so supportive, and they want you to succeed.
And it's really just a great experience to know that you have all the right tools and systems and people in place to help you grow in your career, not only professionally, but also personally.
From movie nights to trivia nights to escape room activities and fitness classes, I've definitely met amazing people and had such an incredible time.
My manager has been super helpful to me. He's friendly. I can approach him each time I come across any problems. He helps me solve them.
From planning to presentation to more on the data analytics side, I've been able to get exposure to figure out what I like and didn't really like as much. My mentor, on the other hand, has given me connections to other people from different parts of ServiceNow, so I can really figure out what other roles do and if I may be interested in them or not.
ServiceNow teaches to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, which is something that I've never learned anywhere else.
Why should one come to work at ServiceNow? If you want to be a part of such a forward-thinking and exciting company, then you're in the right place to be.
Okay, so straight from our interns. We had one of the most amazing classes I've ever been a part of. When COVID hit again around at the end of March, I don't want to say we panicked because we did not panic, but we were very concerned with what was going on across our industry and just across the US. Not only with regarding to, the impact it could have on people's lives and their health, but we saw what some companies were doing where they were canceling internships. They were maybe delaying internships or they were, they didn't really have a plan. And to badmouth any companies, no one has ever been in the situation. So you can't really blame a lot of people for what their decision was. We, on the other hand, decided we put in a lot of work to recruit the right people. We don't want to lose them. We want them to have still a valuable experience. We immediately switched. We made an executive decision very early on that no matter what, we were going to keep the experience consistent. So we were going to do one thing for one set of people. We were going to do it for everyone. So we switched immediately to a completely virtual experience. We hired well over 250 interns last year. So I don't know of any company our size with that type of program that has ever had their full internship program virtual. It was an amazing thing to do and an amazing decision that we made, and I think we did a pretty good job. But let me talk to you about what that program actually is. One of the reasons that you are probably considering ServiceNow is for the opportunity to work on real impactful projects. We talk to all of our interns every single year, several times. And the biggest feedback that we ever get is the opportunity that they got to work on real work. You don't get a project that that you get to present at the end of the summer that goes into a GitHub that nobody ever looks at. That's not something that happens at ServiceNow. You actually get embedded on a team and you get to work on whatever that team is working on. And it affects our bottom line. You get to talk to customers. You get to interact with other teams because it's very collaborative. You get to network as much as you possibly desire. So it's very amazing. Our program is very geared towards your learning and also you gaining experience in a practical environment. We definitely also focus on providing you with events and programs that will complement that experience. You'll have the opportunity to join professional development workshops, get to know one another and your ServiceNow colleagues, and help make an impact on our broader communities. But these are the three key pillars of our program, which is professional development, social impact, and the opportunity to build your community. We have offices all around the world. Our teams are hiring in locations all across the U.S. They're excited to meet you and work with you. Our program is about 12 weeks. And in those 12 weeks, we're hoping to get a sense of what it would be like if you were a full-time member of the team. Over those 12 weeks, our teams provide you with challenging work that will expand your skill sets and give you relevant experience in your chosen field. Throughout it all, you'll have a dedicated mentor to ask questions, big or small, and lean on throughout the summer. Not only a mentor, you also will obviously have a manager that will be there to support you, a summer coach, and then a whole team of people that you can network with, ask questions, interact on a daily basis, whatever you need. We provide as much support as we possibly can. Also, the robust project work isn't the only thing you'll have to look forward to. There's numerous opportunities to network with the full ServiceNow community, including more intimate Q&A sessions sessions with what I originally mentioned was our P level or our executives, and there's so much more that you can do. Very briefly, I'll talk about some of our intern perks that we do provide. That's part of your offer package, but also part of your experience. So, we do offer the opportunity for you to enroll in our healthcare plans. You are given a meal allowance for the summer. You also will get a housing allowance. We have many intern events that are not only just for fun, but also for networking and for your career development. You get a ton of company swag. Paco will talk about this. We sent out boxes and boxes of stuff to all of our interns. We also offer a 401k match so you can start saving for your retirement and do it as soon as possible. And then we offer paid holidays as well. And then here is very important, our intern eligibility. Basically, long story short, you can't graduate before the program, before your internship starts. You have to be enrolled in school. You have to have at least a semester. The reason why we do that is there's many different reasons. The biggest reason is for your benefit. It's because once you get to a certain point in your career, when you're a senior, you should really be looking for a full-time job at that point. And a lot of times I know a lot of students, especially this year, they're like, well, how do I get experience how do I get a job if I don't have the experience? And we can talk about that offline. If you guys have that question, I'm more than happy to answer and give you my opinion on how you could do that. There's many different ways you can do that, but as a senior, you should for sure be looking for a full-time role, or maybe even looking at going to grad school if you can. But you definitely have to be in school to be an intern at ServiceNow. It's only a summer program, and again, it's a 12-week program. Okay, and then I'm just gonna include this slide, which is just some feedback and some comments from a couple of our interns. I'll give you a second just to read it over. Okay, so hopefully you guys got through that. Having said that, and before we turn it over to Paco and to the questions, I think I went a little bit over time. I apologize for that. Again, if you guys are interested in our internships, and if you have any questions, obviously this would be the time after Paco goes through his little spiel. But I'm more than happy to answer any questions. We really would love to interact with you guys moving forward in whatever capacity we can. If you do have questions about other types of internships, I told you guys what I recruit for. I used to be the recruiter for the whole program. So at a very high level, I should be able to at least point you in the right direction. So again, thank you guys so much for your time. I apologize I went over. I tend to bloviate a little bit, but hopefully I gave you guys some information that is valuable to you. And then, I'm more than happy to walk you through process or answer any questions. But I handed it off to Paco now, I believe.
Thanks, Christian. That was super awesome. You got me excited about ServiceNow again.
Yeah. Well, also, I would like to point out that, and there's no pressure here, Paco, but Paco was my favorite intern this summer. I personally met him last year when I was at the IU campus. He was looking for something very specific. I actually thought he would be better suited and more successful in a different type of role that still used his skills. And I think it ended up working out, Paco, but you can tell people about that.
Yeah, I was actually gonna talk about that. What a coincidence. But there's like two things I want to talk about. The first was like what Christian kind of highlighted a lot on, which is like the culture. So I'm gonna share my screen. So I kind of like make this little slide deck. You might have seen this already, but I kind of like compiled what like kind of events I was able to participate in, even though it's like virtual. So, obviously they sent us a bunch of things, and everything that you see here, they sent me. So like we had coffee chats with our like summer coach. We had like a summer coaching team, which is super awesome. They sent us like a succulent package, and we all like went on Zoom, like 200 of us all went on Zoom just to like start building out succulents and like jamming out to music. It was super fun. One night, you know, we all got together into different Zoom rooms to kind of watch movies together. We could choose like between different movies, and I chose to watch Knives Out. It was super fun and a really good movie. Highly recommend. And also like we also like created like tote bags from t-shirts that they sent us, and we had like a little bag that we can like send it out to San Diego to like a food bank there. And these are just like a few of like the events that I really enjoyed. There's like other things like at-home workouts, like executive speaker series, and all those kind of things. It was super awesome. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is like work. Like Christian said, I was looking for really specific like in UX design, but Christian, like after seeing my resume and talking with me, he realized that I might be better suited in quality engineering. And so after talking with my hiring manager as well, they know that I'm interested in front-end development. So they put me in a very front-end quality engineering role, which I fully enjoyed a lot. But like Christian said, like I was just like working like a quality engineer during my internship. I was at their daily stand-ups. I was like working on the file, which I didn't know what it was before. And now I know what it is. I created unit tests that engineers have to run every time they push code to GitHub. So that was really cool. And then also like I developed some internal tools and designed it as well. So I believe it might be like actually like engineers are actually using it now to do certain things. So, and then the right side is just like a few things that I learned. The ServiceNow platform, things like JavaScript, Angular, Karma, just testing, all those kind of things. So I just wanted to share these two slides with you guys just to kind of show what I did on a more day-to-day level, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's all from me. And I think if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me as well. And I believe it's like Q&A now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christian. Thank you so much, Paco. I think that was a wonderful presentation. I think all of our attendees were able to get a sense of what working at ServiceNow is like and how the internship program is like. So now is the time for question and answers. So if you want to like chime in and type your questions here in the chat, or you want to raise your hand, feel free to do that. I think one of the questions that resonated well with me, what Christian said was communicating early on what your expectations are, and like Paco also was along the same lines, saying that the company realized that early on his expectation was more in front-end development. So that is something you can look out for, what you expect from your internship.
Yeah, I think Michaela raised her hand. Go ahead, Michaela.
Yeah, so I'm curious about if there's typically like a specific grade that your interns are in. Are they typically more like juniors, or do you have opportunities for, say, sophomores as well?
That's a great question, and Paco can answer this as well, because Paco, what are you now? You're about to enter your senior year, right?
I'm in my senior right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So we typically hire juniors, but our biggest thing that we look for in people first is, and these are what we call soft skills, because it's not something that you could, read in a book and learn, but it's people that are problem solvers and people that are really smart. And what I say by that is because if you're a freshman and you're really smart and we think that you have the aptitude to be a problem solver, somebody that wants to go above and beyond, that wants to roll up their sleeves and do real work, then we have no problem hiring you. For the most part, we end up hiring juniors. And the only reason that happens, and this probably happens at most companies, is because a junior might have a little bit more experience that we would be looking for. Because like I said, you get actual work to do, like real work, and you hit the ground running. And I don't like to say sink or swim, because you get a ton of support. You, like Paco said, you have your manager, you have your mentor, you have a summer coach, you have your recruiter that can answer any questions, help you navigate the landscape. But ultimately, it's up to you to do the work. So if we think that somebody's a freshman or a sophomore and they're really smart and they want to solve problems and they, have shown a level of aptitude that we're looking for, then we would definitely hire you. Yeah, last year I actually hired like 6 or 7 sophomores and 2 freshmen, and they were some of the best interns we had because I hired a freshman into our global talent team that his sole job was to kind of look at our internal tool that we use. We call it applicant tracking system. It's basically where you as a student would go to apply for our job. And then on the back end, a recruiter like me will see your application, walk you through the process of interviewing. And his job was to basically look at these processes and figure out A, what we were doing, how we were doing it, and B, if there was any gaps or inefficiencies. He used Python code to pull all that data from our internal tool, which wasn't something he was asked to do. So right there, the level of him, he saw a problem and he's like, this is how I can solve this problem by using this. And it was just amazing to see because it wasn't he wasn't asked to do that. He just did that on his own. So it was pretty cool. But to answer your question, we do hire freshmen and sophomores.
Awesome, thank you.
Moving on to the next question, Mason, I see you raised your hand. You want to go next?
Yeah. So I'm a junior studying computer science, and I'm specifically interested in software engineering roles, mobile development, all that stuff. And I know you guys, I think, had openings, and I was kind of, to go off of Paco, because he was talking about front-end technology and stuff like that. I kind of wanted to get more in like the tech stack, like what you guys use. I don't know if that's like a Paco question or a Christian question, but especially someone who's interested in like mobile development and basically backend and all that stuff. Like I was just interested in what you guys use. If you could like go on that a little bit.
So very smart man to know that a recruiter like me probably isn't as technical as somebody who actually used the technology, right? So very good. It depends on what you want to work on, but if most of what we code in is in Java, for the front end, it's JavaScript. We internally use something called React that, a lot of people may or may not know about it. And if you want some more specifics, luckily for you, Paco is on the line. So Paco, did you want to kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I was mostly front end, so I was dealing a lot with JavaScript mostly. I did get some exposure to Java, but not as much as some of my other friends because they're working on more back-end things. But in general, I think Java is what they use the most.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, and then that's a very common question that I get is about people that are, some schools, they teach you C++ or C#, right? And you might not be as intense in Java, or you might have an introductory class in it. The cool thing about ServiceNow is, we code in Java, but we have hired people that know some of these other programming languages because the concepts are the same. So I wouldn't say it's real easy, but it's easier to hire somebody who has that background and then train them in Java and then get them up to speed in Java.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's basically all syntax differences at the end of the day. I mean, what you know. So, yeah, good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Good question.
Thank you, Kristen and Paco. We have a next question from Kingran and Adam. That is, will ServiceNow be hiring UX designers for intern position in their summer 2021?
Very good question. And yes, we do. We have we actually kind of separate that team out from our engineering or from some of the other groups that would be traditional at a tech company like us. I know for a fact that they are hiring. That's actually my colleague. Her name is Jessica. So if anybody's interested, I'll give you my email and you can email me and send me your information. But I would end up passing it along to her. I'm not sure how many people they are hiring at the moment, but they are hiring, yes.
Okay, thank you. And Ajit, sorry, I couldn't pronounce your name, but as you raise your hand, what was your question?
Hi, I just wanted to know about the opportunities for international applicants.
Yes. So long story short, we do hire international applicants. A lot of times people will ask, do you guys sponsor? We obviously, you wouldn't need sponsorship as a student until you graduate and become a full-time employee, but yes, we do that.
Oh, so basically I can apply for an internship even though like I'm an international student.
Yeah, 100%.
Perfect. And also I had a follow-up question. So like basically I'm double majoring in economic consulting, which is like a business major, and informatics. So I was more interested towards the business side of the working, like the front end work. So like, do we have a suitable position for that?
Yeah, for sure. I think it just opened up maybe in the last couple of weeks. It's called we call it a BSA. So it's just our business. It actually has several different titles because it encompasses several different positions, but it's mostly like either a business systems analyst, business operations analyst. But I get this, it's very common, right? There's a lot of students that have a tech background, but maybe want to go into the business side. We also have what's called a solution consulting intern. So I would definitely encourage you to check all those out. If they're not open right now, they will be open soon. Some of our teams, you know, they might not need to hire, like my quality engineering team has to hire 25 plus students. So they start the process a little bit earlier than, you know, some of these other teams. September is also a really big month for our groups that are part of our release. So again, they have a ton of work. They have their own jobs to do. So we generally in October is when we would open up some of the other roles. But I would definitely encourage you to take a look at that business position and then apply to it if you think that you would be a good fit for it.
Thanks a lot. I mean, I can also look into project management because that is another thing which I'm interested in. So I'll definitely have a look at the website. Thanks a lot.
For sure. So that project management would be a part of this. So the other thing that we do initially is we'll open up, like, let's say a software engineering position, but it's a general position. And if you read the description, you'll see all the teams that recruit from this role. It's the same thing on the business side. So a lot of our IT roles, internships are, you know, business related, and they would be part of this group. Right now, our finance group hires interns as well, but I don't think they've opened up their role yet. I'm not 100% sure. But again, whatever we have available at the moment is on our career site. If it's not, it should be in the next week, or by the end of this month for sure.
Sorry, just one last more question. Can we apply to like more than one field? Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So no, for sure. We get this question a lot. A lot of students, you know, might feel like they can't. So in most cases, if you like, let me give you an example. Because sometimes students, like, let's say, for instance, you're interested in, you have a tech background, you're interested in the business side, but you could apply for, you know, some tech roles and some business roles. If a recruiter like me will look at your background and will say, yeah, this makes sense, right? This person definitely could be a fit. Or we can see where the connection is to these roles that they applied for. Now, let's say you're interested in UX design, like somebody was talking about, but they apply for one of our finance roles that has nothing to do with UX. That would raise a red flag. That would, for me, be like, this doesn't make sense. Especially if there's no background in your resume or your cover letter, whatever you submit. That's when, you know, it raises a flag, and and as a recruiter, I'm like, this is weird. Maybe it was a mistake, but I don't understand why this person applied for this role. It doesn't look like they have any experience. They're not studying anything that's related to this. So that's when we say, yes, of course, you can apply to anything you think that you're a fit for, but make sure that it's relevant. Like if you want to do front end work, but you have no background, you've taken no classes, anything like that, maybe reevaluate before you apply, because you're probably not going to get considered.
All right, that makes sense. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
okay,
of course.
Thank you, Deep. Thank you, Christian. I don't see any other raised hands or questions. I think I'll move on to one last personal question that I had. When does the new grad full-time position open up at ServiceNow, and how is the picture for that like? Like, I know it's like a bit off the internship scenario, but wanted to know more about that.
Of course, we get this question a lot, and we totally understand. There's a lot of students. There's thousands and thousands of students out there that are about to graduate, and this is very, your career should be pretty much the thing that you are focusing on at the end of your school career. So we, unfortunately, at the moment, don't have any targeted roles for new grads. We're always hiring, however, what we call experienced hires. And so sometimes experience doesn't necessarily mean like you actually worked in a corporate environment for X amount of years. Again, the experience team does the same thing that we do, where they'll post a position that's very general, and it'll say something like 3 to 7 years of experience, something like that, just as an example. What they're really looking for is like the technical skills. And then when they come into contact with somebody that they've spoken to, that they think technically can do the role, then they'll kind of amend the experience that they're looking for in terms of like years of experience, right? Because again, if they can hire 2 people that have 1 year of experience, it's probably going to be a little bit better than, combing the earth for that perfect person that has the exact 3 years of experience that they're looking for. Sometimes, again, we're looking for smart problem solvers. Having said that, we don't have a targeted new grad role right now. We don't look that far in advance for somebody that's going to graduate in the summer, other than our internal interns. Those are the people that we start with. Once we get through with that period, which is usually end of this month, November, probably closer to the end of the year, and definitely at the beginning of the year, that's when those roles will start opening up, because at that point we know like somebody that graduates in December, they can start in January, right? Usually. So we'll definitely start taking a look at those people then, towards the end of the year. People that graduate in like the spring or early summer, start looking at those applicants usually, in the spring, at the beginning of the spring. So I would encourage you can actually go to our career site, sign up for alerts. And then as soon as a position that matches what you're looking for opens up, it'll alert you. And I actually pretty sure that it's gotten to the point, our systems are so intuitive that it'll automatically apply you for that role. I'm not sure if you have to turn on that feature or not, but you should be able to at least find out when the minute that position gets opened up.
Got it. I think we'll just take one last question from Adam. He says, regarding internships and specifically UX internships, if there's a substantial difference. I'm a non-traditional student with a family and a full-time job. Do you think it's feasible to complete an internship at Service while maintaining my job, as I necessarily need to maintain a certain level of income?
So really good question, Adam. And that's tough, right? Because generally, when we hire someone into any role, whether it's a full-time role or an internship, we definitely don't want people to have a conflict of interest. So that's the first thing. As generally, if you don't have a conflict of interest, it's not going to be a problem. But as long as it doesn't interfere with your ServiceNow internship. I don't know if having a family and having another actual job on top of that, would be a hindrance. I've never had that experience. I haven't hired too many people that have had that experience. And right now, because everybody's working from home, you would think that it would be easy. But again, I don't know what that would be like for somebody like that. I have a dog and a fiance, and my first job is my family, right? So, and I can't imagine someone that actually has kids and another job on top of that, how you would do that. So again, I know a lot of teams are different at ServiceNow, and maybe they feel differently, but generally, we want to make sure that you can focus on your ServiceNow internship first. So that's a tough question to answer, just because it would depend on the hiring manager for the most part. But I know we did hire someone recently, just to give you, transparency, and to give you an example, that later we found out actually had another job. And so we basically told this person, because it was a huge conflict of interest, it was with another tech company. We told this person that that's not something that, we were going to be able to do. So we gave them the option, either, you can only have one in either that ServiceNow or this other company. And, they ended up choosing ServiceNow because their job was, part-time, and they didn't know that was a thing. But we definitely, there's forms that you have to sign before you sign with us, and it specifically says that you can't have a conflict of interest. So, if you have like a typical 9 to 5, I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't want to say no, that wouldn't work out, because, especially if we're virtual, maybe it could. I wouldn't encourage it, to be quite honest, just because, like I said, having a family, having another job on top of your internship, we're a performance-based culture. And so ultimately, like, doing your work is the most, one of the most important things at ServiceNow. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, he says understandable. Thank you. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Paco, for the wonderful session. I think it was very informative and very helpful. For attendees, we have posted a link in the chat section for the feedback of the whole event. It will be really nice if you could just provide us some feedback, and then we can work on improving our events for the future. And with that, I think we'll call it a day. Thank you once again for taking out time and holding this session.
Yep. And don't forget to follow our social media for exclusive content. The links are posted in the chat. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you guys so much. I put my email in the chat, and you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm a little slow to respond there just because I'm not cool at all, but because I'm a recruiter at ServiceNow, I get bombarded with messages on a daily basis. So it takes me sometimes a little bit of time to respond to them, but I'm more than happy. Even if you have just a question of, I had a student that wasn't really interested in ServiceNow just because he was doing something completely different, but he had a question of like, how can I communicate with recruiters, or how can I talk about an offer? Stuff like that. I love to be able to help and communicate. So please feel free. But if you do have any questions about ServiceNow, if you have a question about any of our internships, you can bug Paco as well, but you can definitely email me.
Thanks, Christian, for sharing your email as well and taking out the time for talking to all of us. This was really great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate your time, and I hope I get to see you guys soon.
Thanks, Christian.
Thank you so much for the information.
All right. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.